welcome back. Linda here. Today we're going to be working on a link, and it's this particular link here, and it's actually based on a Savoy knot, and a couple of my subscribers suggested I should call it the Linda link because I changed it up a little bit, but yeah, I still haven't named it. So anyway, that's what we're going to be making today. It was a request from a couple of people after seeing it in I think it was my live. I showed it the first time. Okay, so I'm going to be doing this one in a 20 gauge wire. You're going to be needing your cutters, a pair of chain nose pliers, either bent nose or just normal chain nose, and a pair of round nose pliers. You can make this link in anything from a 24 gauge up to 18 is the furthest I've gone. You possibly do it in a 16. I haven't attempted it. You could give it a go if you like. I wouldn't go any lower than a 24 gauge. It gets obviously very, very flimsy even at 24 gauge. But I have used the 24 gauge in an earring. Okay, so we're just going to be cutting off some lengths here, and I don't have an exact measurement for this because each time it turns out a little bit different. So I'm just going to suggest to you about that long there. I'll just grab my tape measure and give that a quick measure so you have a rough idea of how much to cut off. But as I said, it'll be different every time. So I'm going to say 16 centimetres, which would be about 6 1/4 inches. Maybe go to a 7-inch, something like that, just when you're starting out. And also too, when you're starting out, this is going to be a double link. When you're starting out, it's probably easier if you try a single piece of wire to start with, just until you get the hang of it. So just get yourself some practice wire, you know, some of the cheaper wire, and yeah, just have a practice with it first. This is bare copper wire I'm using here. So just cut to same length. Just going to give those a bit of a straighten. Okay, and we're just going to line them up. And you don't need to flush cut this because you'll be cutting the ends anyway. So just get those fairly straight. Okay, now I'm going to come down about, well, it's not halfway, so about 1/3 of the way down, holding those two wires together, and I'm just going to start bending them. And just do this slowly. Remember, you're working with 2 pieces of wire. So we're just looking for that shape to start with. It's not going to stay that shape because it just never does. Well, not for me anyway. You might have better luck. I never get it to stay perfect. So I've got that one done. Now I'm just going to turn it over, and we're going to come up and bend the other way. This is the hardest side to get it to come in a nice shape. I don't know why it always is the second part of something. Even an earring is always harder to get the second one to match up to the first. So I'm just going to hold that there and bring that around the back. And try to keep your wires next to each other, not crossing over. That can be a little bit hard as well. So no, this is not a super easy link to do, but it's well worth the patience when it's finished. just going to grab my bent nose pliers here. Just going to see if I can bend that without my, yeah, I can, without my pliers. So you just want to bend that one under. You can see that. And then we're going to come up to this side here. Actually, what I'll do first. Okay, finding your inside wire, and I find it easier if you turn it over so that you've got your inside wire coming up there like that, so you can grab it easier with your pliers. Just give that a little bit of a pull, not too much to start with, and then grab the second wire and do the same thing, just a little bit. Okay, now this one here is going to, I've got to remember now. Okay, grabbing the inside one again and pulling that up, and the outside one, pulling that up. Turning it back over, doing the same thing again on the opposite end. Trying to keep those in line. We can fix it up a bit at the end, but it's better if you try and keep them in line to start with. Okay, now this one here. I'm just trying to decide if, yeah. I was thinking about tucking it back under again, but I won't. That's probably a little bit too complicated at the moment. Start with this one first. Okay. So I'm going to make this smaller again. If you can see those wires moving up. That one's pretty much where I want it. It's just this one we need to work on. I had that the right way around to start with. There we go. So you just keep pulling them until you get them to the size that you want them to be for whatever the project is that you're going to be putting them into, like using them in. Okay, I'm just pushing those down, getting them in to line up. That looks pretty good to me. So now I'm just going to bend these ones back to straighten them, like that. And then the same with this one here, bending those back to straighten them. And that looks pretty good. Just want to get that outside one a little bit tighter. There we go. You can fiddle with these all day long. Okay. Now, you cut your ends of these wires depending on what thickness you're going to be putting through, because they're going to be a loop at the back. So depending on how thick whatever it is that you're going to be threading through it is how big you would cut your ends, if that makes sense. Okay, and turning it over, I'm just going to grab both of those and turn them at the same time. So see how close mine are to that. Now you really couldn't fit much through there. I could thread something in underneath there. So as I said, if you're going to put leather through there or a chain or, you know, whatever you're going to pop through there, a jump ring, depending on how thick the jump ring is, would be how long you leave these pieces. So I'm just going to open those up a little bit, or quite a bit, and I'm just going to turn them a little bit because I can finish those off later. So that's left me a bit more space there. So I'll cut these ones a bit longer. Oop, didn't cover that one, it went flying. Can't even see where it landed. Oh yes, I can. Okay, so turning back the ends of these ones. Whoops. So I left that one a bit bigger so you can fit something a bit more. Then fiddle around with that, like, you know, that's obviously not finished off. But you would, yeah, just finish them off. So that's our plain link, and normally I just reach over and grab them. I just grab my rubber pliers, wire straighteners, whatever you want to call them, and just give this a bit of a, you know, just to work harden it a little bit. Or you could pop it on the on your bench block. Obviously don't hammer where they cross over, just hammer this part here, this part, and this part, if you wanted to harden it up a little bit more. Again, depending on what you're going to be using it for. That's that link there. Oops. These little bits out of the way. And then I just want to show you can decorate them up. This one here, I've just done, I think it was a 26 gauge wire I used to wrap around there. You could use a half round wire in a thin, you know, diameter. 28 gauge wire if you wanted to on that one. They always turn out a little bit different shaped. They're never exactly the same, but it's the same idea. This one here, I just added a few little 3mm magnesite faceted beads on them. So I'm just giving you a couple of ideas here what you can do with it. This one here, I just added a daisy spacer with a little amethyst bead in the middle. And because I wire wrapped the sides, that made these come out even like straighter. So it's a different look. Again, kind of looks a little bit like a bow. And then I just want to show you what else you could use them in. This is a pair of earrings I made, and I used 24 gauge wire for the link on that one. So that's the pair. And this bracelet I showed in a previous video, but I thought people hadn't seen it. There's this one here that I'm, just get these out of the way. Yeah, so that's with the link that I made in my last video. There, that's the clasp on the end of it. I made this for my grandson. And this is one I made a few, probably just over a month or so ago. So it's the link, and I've just added some beads and wrapped a coil around it. Used the link in the bracelet as well, and then made the same link here, but I coiled it for the closure on that one. Just pop that in there. So it's interesting on the back as well as on the front. Okay, well that's the video for today, and hope everybody's well and fighting fit. And I don't think I had anything else to tell you. Yeah, just like and subscribe if you wouldn't mind, if you haven't already done so. Share the video if you would like to do that with people that you think might enjoy it. And that's all I can think of to say. All right, everybody, just have a good one, and I'll catch you in the next video. All right, bye.